The theater of manufactured leaders, Trump, Erdoğan, Starmer, and the comedian Unmasked. Men are so simple and so obedient to present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. In every era, the rulers of the world craft illusions to pacify the masses. The shape of power changes. Emperors become presidents, courtiers become advisory boards, and papal emissaries turn into intelligence agencies. But the machinery of control remains constant. Today's leaders often resemble actors cast for a play whose script is written far above their station by a small elite perched atop the pyramid of power. In this landscape, Donald Trump, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, and Keir Starmer function as performers rather than sovereigns. Their speeches are choreography, their diplomacy is stagecraft, their achievements are props designed to maintain legitimacy. Only Zelensky, ironically, reveals the truth of the age, because he alone began as an actual comedian. This chapter examines these figures not as individuals, but as symptoms of a system that manufactures modern princes and scripts their roles with precision. 1. The illusion of peace and the manufacture of myth. Trump's presidency marketed itself as a golden age of peacemaking, yet the evidence tells a different story. The so-called 8 peace agreements reveal the mechanics of political illusion. 1.1 The Abraham Accords, peace without war. The signature accomplishment of Trump's foreign policy was the Abraham Accords, normalization arrangements between Israel and states such as the UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. But these nations were not at war with Israel. The accords merely formalized economic and intelligence relationships that already existed behind closed doors. This was not peace, it was PR strategy. It functioned like the triumphant processions of Roman emperors returning from wars they never fought, parades to maintain spectacle for a weary public. 1.2 North Korea and the diplomat without diplomacy. Trump's 3 meetings with Kim Jong-un produced no denuclearization, no treaty, no reduction in military tensions, only photo ops. A handshake for the cameras replaces substance, a technique Machiavelli understood well. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. 1.3 The Afghanistan Agreement, peace that invited war. Trump's 2020 agreement with the Taliban excluded the Afghan government entirely, undermining Afghanistan's stability and accelerating the Taliban's return to power. Calling this peace is like calling a ceasefire victory after retreating from the battlefield at night. 2. Barking at Israel, the scripted rage of vassal princes. Trump and Erdoğan perform a curious duet. Both bark loudly about Israel to satisfy domestic audiences, yet both act in obedience to geopolitical realities shaped by forces beyond their control. 2.1 Trump's loyal silence. His public, tough talk never translated into policy that challenged the entrenched interests driving U.S.-Israel relations. Instead, Trump delivered exactly what those interests desired. Moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, cutting Palestinian aid, recognizing Israeli positions long deemed controversial. The bark serves the base. The obedience serves the pyramid. 2.2 Erdoğan's Grand Theater. Erdoğan routinely condemns Israel with fiery rhetoric, yet maintains robust bilateral trade, military and intelligence coordination, continued diplomatic engagement. This duality is not contradiction, it is choreography. Erdoğan's performative fury masks the structural dependence of Turkey's political-economic elite on Western and Israeli-aligned networks. 3. Keir Starmer, the corporate prince. If Trump is the showman and Erdoğan the sultan of political theater, Keir Starmer is the technocratic actor installed with corporate polish and elite approval. 3.1 Manufactured legitimacy. Starmer's rise mirrors a long tradition of leaders backed by the establishment. Donors aligned with financial and legal elites. Think tank grooming. Media sanitization. Purging internal opposition, notably the entire Corbynite wing. Like the Roman Senate's installation of compliant emperors, Starmer represents the bureaucratic face of elite continuity. 3.2 The minimalist mask. Starmer avoids grand gestures. His performance is subtle, yet the effect is the same. A leader manufactured to manage the system, not challenge it. 4. Zelensky, the comedian in the Court of Kings. The irony of the modern age is that the only leader whose origins are not concealed is the one who began as a literal comedian. 4.1 The servant of the script. Zelensky's ascent through media oligarchs and production studios was transparent. His political role emerged from scripted television narratives, oligarchic sponsorship, clever branding. Unlike Trump or Erdoğan, Zelensky did not pretend to be carved from ancient statecraft. He showed from the beginning that the modern prince is a character. 4.2 A mirror to the system. His existence exposes the truth Machiavelli would recognize. The modern public accepts leaders not for their virtue, but for their entertainment value. 5. Historical parallels. When power writes the script. Throughout history, elites have elevated figureheads to mask their own authority. The Medici promoted puppet popes. Byzantine factions installed emperors as ephemeral mascots. Renaissance princes used buffoons and jesters as political instruments. 20th century intelligence agencies manufactured foreign leaders for strategic ends. The mechanism remains constant. The real power remains hidden. The visible ruler is merely the performer. 6. The pyramid's logic. Why manufactured princes are necessary. Modern elites prefer leaders who are predictable, controllable, media-adapted, and capable of performing legitimacy. Trump, Erdoğan, and Starmer fit this model perfectly. They project strength, but obey structural constraints. They speak loudly, but act within narrow boundaries. They perform sovereignty, while real sovereignty resides elsewhere. They are the perfect stewards of a system that must appear democratic while remaining tightly managed. 7. Conclusion. The age of scripted saviors. We live not in an age of princes, but of producers. The true rulers of the pyramid write the plot, cast the actors, and manage the narrative. Trump brings spectacle. Erdoğan brings drama. Starmer brings managerial monotony. Zelensky brings literal performance. What unites them is not ideology, morality, or leadership. What unites them is their function as masks, faces worn by a system that cannot reveal its true architects. To be a prince, it is not necessary to possess all good qualities. It is necessary only to appear to possess them. Machiavelli. The public sees the actors. Power sees the script.